Okay. I know what the problem was. I was on Safari and it wasn't accessing my camera and my microphone. And I have absolutely no idea how to allow it to have access. So I had to download Firefox. And now we're in a completely different browser. So, wow. Okay, this is super clear. This is crazy. Also, I can see myself on a massive screen, which is not. It's very kind of disconcerting. It's freaking me out a little bit, to be honest. But hello. Welcome. And sorry for those of you that were waiting. So I'm going to do a little mini haul. I got a few, like literally 4 things. That's not 4, that's 4. I bought a few things from Tesco the other day while I was on my walk. It rained a little bit and I thought I'll pop into Tesco and wait out the rain. And of course I bought some things. So I thought since I wanted to test out the camera, I'd do a little mini haul and then we'll get to a chat. So number 1, I went in specifically looking for this because my friend messaged me the other day and said, have you ever tried this? I have, years and years ago. I know I've tried this because when she sent me the picture, I had a scent in mind. It's very Nivea, very old school. Anyway, I'm sure she said Joanna Lumley swears by it. And so if it's good enough for Joanna Lumley, it's good enough for us. And she said she was really enjoying it. So I bought a pot for myself, Astral Original Moisturizer. I don't know where Joanna Lumley, ooh, it's whipped. I don't know where Joanna Lumley uses this. I don't know. It says face and body moisturizer. If Joanna Lumley is using Astral on her face, maybe there's something to it. I wonder also whether or not this is good for removing makeup like the thick Nivea one. This is a totally different texture though. It's not like the greasy Nivea stuff. This is like really easily absorbed. That's nice stuff. I also went in to get another bottle of this because I was using this up. I had kind of like this much left of it and I was saving it. And I thought, this is crazy. This is definitely one of the best things I've used for my hair. I said when I first tried this, it came in PR about a month after I cut my hair. And I was kind of annoyed because I thought if this had arrived before, I probably wouldn't have cut it because it was such a pain detangling on my head. Very, very fine. I have a good amount of hair, but it's very fine. And I mean, look at all this breakage I've got up here now. But it's kind of effort to comb through it when it gets very long. And when this arrived, I just thought it was just the tiniest bit too late because I probably would have left it really, really long. It's like nothing else I've ever used. It's a liquid, which by the way, if you put this in your hands and rub it together when you're in the shower or the bath or whatever, it gets hot. I don't know how this works. I've Googled it. I've tried to understand. I've watched videos. I don't understand how it works, but it doesn't seem to be damaging. I can't find anything online that says this is bad for your hair. It's not got it's like silicones or anything like that in it. I don't get it. But it's like kind of a conditioner, kind of like a liquid conditioner. Use a very small amount of it. It's called the 8-second miracle, or it used to be 8-second wonder water. Apologies. And so you don't need to leave it in for a very long time at all. 8 seconds, I think. Put it all through your hair, ends, not like here down below your ear. In fact, even then, that's quite close to the underside. If you get greasy hair like I do, don't know if you can tell, but the ends of your hair. And it changes the texture of your hair completely. It's going to be so much easier to comb through. It's going to be so much shinier. The whole thing is easier. Even like blow drying it and stuff is easier. And so I was using it maybe like once a month because I was treating it like it was this special, really expensive gold dust product. And it just came to me last week like, what are you doing? Just buy another bottle because it's great. So I've given Ella the very like last part, probably the like last quarter of the other bottle to see if she likes it. Because she's the same as me, gets quite greasy hair quite quickly. But she also has quite a lot of texture in her hair. She's got quite curly hair from her dad. So I've got kind of waves. She's got a real curl. So we have a similar situation when it comes to kind of detangling and dealing with it. And I haven't actually asked her, but I think she's probably going to enjoy it. So anyway, bought a new bottle of that. It was £5 instead of 10 in Tesco. Amazing. I also bought, it's not very exciting, but I wanted to mention it because I was so disappointed. I bought this. This is Sure Men's Invisible Ice Fresh Deodorant. And I was so stupid. I bought this thinking, Ice Fresh sounds like, I looked at all of the different ones because I always use men's deodorant. Don't like the scent of women's deodorant. Always use the men's. And I thought Ice Fresh sounds quite like fresh, but not too strong of a scent. It was what I was thinking. I was wrong. It's horrible. It's the soapiest, strongest scent I've ever, I was going to say, I've ever tasted, I've ever smelled in my life. I hate it. I really, really don't like it. Now, I probably still prefer it to like powdery, floral, women's deodorant scent. But I've just noticed you can see all of the rubbish behind me as well now, including my empty Lucasade bottle. I didn't even spray this and I can smell it. You know, like sometimes, I don't know if it's that you can't smell it on yourself and maybe I smell like this. I don't know. But you know, sometimes when you can smell it on other people, their laundry powder, and it smells really, really strongly soapy. That's what this smells like. It just smells like a bar of soap. And I just kind of wafted it in front of myself and I went, oh, no, I hate it. So that's going to be like my emergency deodorant. I really am not a fan. And the last thing I bought was this. I wasn't buying these for the longest time. I wasn't buying single sachet masks, and especially the hydrogel masks, because I was trying to be good for the environment. What does it say? It says throw a mask in the bin. I don't know if it's recyclable. It's got the little arrows, but it does say in the bin not to flush it, obviously. Cruelty and vegan. Oh, cruelty free and vegan. I'm trying to look. Because some say that they are biodegradable. I can't even think for a second that this one is because it's hydrogel, but you know, I bought it. I bought it because my skin was feeling rubbish, and there's something about a hydrogel mask that feels really, really bougie. It feels very, very expensive, and so I bought that, and that is probably what I'm gonna wear on my face tonight because I just feel like I need to pick me up, you know? Right, let me get to the comments because I wanted to say hi. Charles, isn't this camera next level though? For a webcam, this is not, absolutely not. What have I got on me? Oh, it's dog hairs. See, picking up dog hairs. That's not ideal though, is it? Still giddy about the US reopening. Did you see my aptly chosen? I wonder if I can put this closer, if this will focus. Probably. We're probably not at that stage, are we? No, we're not. But you are at the stage where you can see like the lines on my chest though. This is crazy. This is like sharp. This almost is better than my actual camera. Yes, still very, very excited about the US opening the borders. A little bit nervous about the testing situation. As I understand it, we only need the antigen test, which is like a lateral flow. What I don't really understand is, because I assumed you'd have to go somewhere and have this test done. And I've been Googling this morning, and obviously we haven't got the full 100% information yet, so it's all kind of up in the air, bit of a grey area. But currently, people are testing at home to go places. That doesn't feel entirely safe. That kind of feels like you're just paying, because surely the people who are like anti-masker type people, the people who don't believe in any of this stuff, surely they're not doing those tests correctly. So I found somewhere on in our town that can do the test for us, and we'll do it like within 30 minutes. So I think we're going to do that. But that's obviously a nerve-wracking thing because it's still something that very, very close to the date could stop you from going, even if all of the adults in the party have been double vaxxed. I'm also not sure whether or not Milo needs to be tested, in spite of the fact that he can't even be vaccinated. I don't know. So I'm very excited, but still have like a layer of just be realistic, don't get too excited, which kind of sucks, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Camera and the sound are both awesome. Excellent, Rebecca. Thank you. That is what I was hoping for. I remember Joanna Lumley doing an advert for Astral years ago. I can't remember that, but I wonder then now if she really does use Astral, or if that's like, or if they're still paying her to say she used it. Nikki said, Astral too thick for my face, but love it for my feet. It's not. It didn't feel that thick. It really didn't. Unless my skin is just incredibly dry. That absorbed very, very quickly, which was crazy. NYC for me, 2 months today. Oh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting, but it is nerve-wracking. Yes, Tracy, I will send you the message with the details of the test in place. I've also looked at Sheffield as well. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. Obviously, we're kind of like, what are we? How many weeks away? You know what? I'm going to have a look. How many weeks away are we? We are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 10 weeks. 10 weeks today. Oh, it's very exciting. It's very exciting, maybe. You know, you have to keep yourself. Maybe, hopefully, maybe. Sure, Ultimate Clean Scent for me on offer in Sainsbury's, £3 at the moment. So is it called Ultimate Clean? My absolute favourite was Right Guard unscented. It was women's, but it was purple and it was unscented, and that was great. That was fantastic. But I can very rarely find it these days. I don't know if it's even still available. It's been so long. 12 and over being vaccinated here. So Ella's been vaccinated and she'll have a second vaccination by the time we travel. So all 3 of us that can be vaccinated will have done everything we can to be vaccinated, but Milo is only going to be 9. In fact, no, I tell a lie, it'll be 10 by the time we travel. But he still isn't eligible for vaccinations. Watching you open your new iMac and getting me excited for my iPad Pro arriving this afternoon. iPad Pros are like next level purely because of the pencil. I got an iPad Pro a few years ago and was like, this is absolutely incredible. In fact, I've been thinking about doing some merch for autumn winter time. I've never really done merch before, but I was kind of thinking about it the other day and I thought I might draw something. I might do just so that it feels very personal, and I literally never used this pencil that I spent all this money for, the iPad and the pencil. Now I did do all of the illustrations for my book with it, and we could say that that made it worth it. It was a tax write-off. It was a business expense. If you saw my reel yesterday, it really was. But it was definitely one of those things that I justified to myself that I needed for various things that I didn't really need, did I? Didn't really need it. So maybe if I do some merch, then again I can make it feel like a more justified purchase. 37 weeks pregnant but watching from home. Don't normally get to watch. Super excited. Hope you're okay. Hi, congratulations on being 37 weeks pregnant. It's a very exciting time. Lateral flow tests 3 days before can be done from home is what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing as well. But that it does it not make you nervous? Like if we're going to do the tests, it seems crazy that you can do the test yourself. In my mind, if you can do the test yourself, then it is a tick box exercise or a money-making exercise, which doesn't totally make sense because individual places are doing them and it's not like a government-run scheme. But you know what I'm saying. Can you trust people to do that test themselves if it's actually a necessity to travel? I feel like the tests should be done by a professional if you're saying you have to have it done to travel. But I don't know. Yes, exactly, Char. The write-off people make it so that you can buy these things and then write it off, even though that's not really how it works. I mean, it is, but it's not. Oh, Tracy, you're there for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. That'll be exciting. We're there just after. We'll be there, fingers crossed, for the tree lighting. That's everything. That is everything. I will cry when I see that tree. All the trees, but that tree. And Milo has already said he wants to do all of the ice skating in all of the places. We're not sure if he can ice skate. So we might do that a few times before we go. Legit, your coffee is almost tempting me to make one, but it's 10 p.m. I mean, you could have a decaf. I don't know if it would have that effect on me. Maybe it would. I don't know. Can you trust people to be honest about the outcome of the lateral flow? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. What day does the tree go live? Let's find out. Shall we find out? When is the Rockefeller Center tree lit? 2021. Because what year is it? Who has time for typing these days? Okay, tree lighting. November 14th, tree arrives. December 2nd, tree. Oh, this might be from last year because it says was lit. Okay, so last year, November the 14th, tree arrived. December 2nd, the tree was lit. 25th. 25th, the light shined for a full 24 hours. we've seen pieces of the tree. I have previously seen, when I was there with Charlotte a few years ago, we were there in November and we saw the tree arrive. We saw the tree with scaffolding around it. That was quite exciting, but that was it. And we saw some Christmas windows. But it was like a little prelude to, oh, one day you'll get to see the whole thing. And then we've been many, many times in January where there are remnants of tree. So like around the Rockefeller Plaza, you see little bits of tree, but I've never actually seen the tree. So that's going to be very exciting. And I want to see the tree at the Palace. Look at this. I'm so excited. I actually have what is it called? A vision board thing at the moment. And it is on there. That's on there. The Vegas wedding thing is on there. I never do vision boards usually, but I decided to do one and put it on my phone as a screensaver because I know it's something that people do. Also, there's full moon tonight, guys. So if you're into that kind of thing, I've been really into manifestation books and things again recently. And honestly, yesterday I was feeling very, very negative. Yesterday morning, I thought, there's no way this is going to happen. I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to move it to April. I was on the cusp. I called BA and they said they'd get back to me with some information about cancellations and stuff and whether or not we'd lose anything if we went with another provider, all that stuff, or another travel place. What is it called? They're not called a provider. A service? Travel service? I don't know. Airline. And I was ready to move it to March. And can you imagine how annoyed I would have been? Although part of me thinks it might be less frustrating in March. We might not have to have masks on, maybe yada yada. But then also, I don't think we'll ever rebook it for Christmas. It was all kind of like all the stars aligned to book it for Christmas. And we got such a good deal. We got 2 rooms. It's just for like half the cost it would usually be. Remnants of the tree, yeah, 100% it was remnants of the tree. I've seen them many, many times. Please do a video of you and Milo like at the end of Home Alone 2. I am going to cry. I have warned everyone in the family. I'm going to cry. It's going to happen. I'm probably just going to cry for like 6 days. I make no apologies because it's exciting. It's so exciting. Again, trying to dampen it down. Don't get too excited. You never know. I'm really excited. It's total bucket list thing. Also, again, with the manifesting thing, I have always said that 35 would be a magic year. It would be like, this is the year stuff is going to happen. And we were supposed to be in Disney World. Well, we were originally supposed to be in Disney World last year. And then we moved it to February this year. And I was going to be in Disney World on my birthday. And I thought, well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the magic thing. And then when that ended up that wasn't going to happen, we moved our holiday to New York. And we were like, right, let's just book this because I think in December, New York will be fine. We don't want to book Disney while we don't know what the restrictions are going to be. So back in January, we were like, end of the year, that's safe. Little did we know. And we found this great deal. The rest is history. We got this little holiday booked and then we had some money to one side. And this is obviously like I say, a bucket list trip. And I thought we probably won't be able to go. And then as the year went on, we found these really, really good prices, which, by the way, I looked yesterday. Haven't looked again today since the borders have been announced to be open. Haven't checked whether or not the prices have changed. But we are going to Las Vegas, just Lee and I, to celebrate our 10-year anniversary and potentially do a vow renewal. There's a whole thing. But we're going to do that at the end of January. And I was looking yesterday, and if you fly around the 25th, 26th from London to Vegas, the prices are incredible. Absolutely nuts. So if you are potentially interested in booking something like that with these restrictions being lifted, I'm just putting out there, those dates seem to be particularly affordable still. Because we were like, let's book it now because we don't know. But it's still even months later was that, I don't know what's happening that week. I don't know if they've got like an earthquake planned or something, but it was really, really cheap. So we ended up getting 2 holidays with some left over for the price of one holiday that we did have booked. And now we will potentially do a little thing just before my birthday where we have just our holiday and a vow renewal, which is a little bit magical. And when we got married 10 years ago, we said maybe we would do this, and now we will. and we will have done Christmas in New York. And I think I can write that off as a win for my magic year, for the year that I always knew was going to be a special year that really shouldn't have been given the circumstances. It's going to pull it out of the bag right in the 11th hour, I think. We were in NYC for Halloween, and the day after it felt like Christmas just happened overnight. It was mad. So speaking of Disney, that happened to us too, because we were in Disney we arrived in October, left in November, and we were there, and it was Halloween. It was Halloween everywhere. And then the next day, it was Christmas. And we actually saw the castle completely by accident. We didn't even know it was happening. We arrived in the park. I think we arrived in the park or we were leaving. I can't remember. Either way, we were near the gates and something was happening. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? All the music, the twinkle, it's very magical. I do want to go back to Disney, but oh my God, it's so expensive. And it's the whole thing. I think Lee and I will be adults that go to Disney alone in the future, because honestly, the kids don't even care. They are way more excited about going to New York. But we were there and all the twinkly things were happening and the sparkle and all of the lights. And we saw the castle be lit for Christmas. It was, again, kind of a bucket list thing that I didn't even know was a thing. And we were there. So again, turned it over overnight and it was just like magical Christmas. Skating in Bryant Park is better than Central Park. Central Park one is normally sponsored by Trump. Good to know. NYC at Christmas is really amazing, 100% magical. And our flights in March have gone up massively. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look, because I would be interested to see if the flights that we have booked now are massively more expensive now, because we just got some really, really good deals. And I'll feel all the better about having some restrictions still in place. Things like masks on long haul flights. That's not a fun thing. A needs must thing, absolutely. Also, does anybody know what the deal is with what kind of mask you need? Do you have to have a specific kind of mask? Because I was thinking we'll just get some disposable ones, because I know you're supposed to change them every 3 or 4 hours, and obviously it's a long time in the airport and then a long time on the flight. So I don't know what the deal is. Also, do you still have a thing of you take it off to eat and drink? What's the deal? How does this work now? I'm hoping some people will post videos, because I don't know when flights will we don't know the actual date yet. We're traveling on the 30th of November, so I feel pretty confident that if they're opening in November, and they've said before Thanksgiving, that we should be fine. But I'm also hoping that some of the people on YouTube that make videos specifically about travel and flying will give us some insight between now and then, even right at the very last minute, to help us understand what the actual flight's going to be like. But obviously I haven't flown since the beginning of last year, so anyone who knows anything, I'd be interested. I think it's standard surgical. I got stung by that because I had a fabric one. See, that's totally fine. I'm cool with, I think if anything, that will be more comfortable to wear for a long period of time. They wouldn't let me board. Had to go to Boots and buy a pack of surgical to board. I think that's going to be the case. I think that's totally going to be what happens. I don't think that we're going to be, also I've just noticed some little dots on the bottom of the screen. I kind of want to know what it is. There's little green dots. Just going to take a picture so I can Google it later. Because this is, we're testing. Moving on. I don't know what the deal is going to be, but if it's just regular surgical masks, that's fine. The only issue, I spoke to Milo about this morning and he's totally cool with it. Because Lee and I were talking about it last night and he said, I just don't know about Milo wearing a mask for so long, because the flight's 7 hours, but then you've already been in the airport for however many hours. And Milo hasn't really worn a mask throughout the pandemic. He had one and just wore one, here and there, but not really, because it wasn't deemed necessary for kids his age. So he hasn't really got any experience in wearing a mask much at all, let alone for a long period of time. So I think I'm going to start, if we're going to do the surgical masks, I'll buy some packs and we'll start wearing those around the shops and get Milo to wear them as well, closer to the trip, just to get him used to it. But I mentioned it to him and he's just like, it's not a big deal. I don't think he's concerned. I think he's just excited. He loves traveling. He loves just even going on a car journey. He loves it. And he's exactly like me. Lee says, We both like to be surrounded by our things, which is completely true. He can get on a plane with his wallet and a pair of headphones, and it baffles me. He's just like this. He's got nothing. It's like his passport, obviously, but probably I've got that. I like to have like my actual bag that's got all the things that I could possibly need on the flight, and I like that to be with me in the footwell of, like, I like all of my things that I could possibly need. And then preferably a carry-on with things that I want to know where they are. Even if I don't need them on the flight, I'd like them to be with me, just so I know where they are. And Milo has a big bag of things, and he likes to set himself up, same as me, get on the flight. It's like you have your like neck pillow, you have your iPad, you have whatever it is and Lee's headphones, he'll plug it into the thing, he'll watch whatever is available, and he's got his phone. It's crazy. Absolutely blows my mind. How do we feel about that? Are we pack rats like Milo and I, or can you just like really streamline it down? It's nuts. Yeah, you only need to have 3 or 4 masks each, as they expect you to change them every couple of hours, which is totally fine. Don't press the buttons, you will break the live. Yeah, I don't know what the buttons do. Unless it's like volume. I really don't know. Fellow kitchen sink packer. Yeah, I mean, even just the overpacking part of it. I'm obviously I'm like totally fine. I love to overpack. But it's the thing of like, even in the car, if we go for a long car journey, I like to know where all of my things are. And I like, if we're going somewhere and it's like 4 hours in the car, I mean, it's different now because Lee's got a new car. His old car was like a saloon, you know, like a regular, like, executive car. It was like a saloon is the right word, right? He'd be mortified. Where the boot is separate. And so now he's got like a 4x4 hatchbacky thing, and I can get into it. So like worst case scenario, not that I ever would do this, but let's say I could get into the boot while we were driving. I would never, but I could, you know? Or if we were like in standstill traffic, and that has happened before. We were once on the way to the airport and the traffic was like just nuts. I think it took us about 8 hours to get to Heathrow. We always go the day before, and that just instilled further in us that we should. Although when we go to Vegas, we're not flying till the evening, and we are considering not. So on that, in that instance, I actually got out of the car and went to get the thing out of the boot. It would have been nice to just be able to climb over the back seat and get it. We're going to Wales in November with our 5-year-old, 3-month-old. Not sure how we're going to fit everything in the car. You'll find a way. You always find a way. Absolutely the same. I take a carry-on with spare clothes just in case. That's always one of those things that it's a nice idea, and I like the idea of that. But I want all of my things packed in a certain way. And if I take out an outfit and pack it in my carry-on, it messes with the system. Not very obsessive about those kind of things. I'm not a tidy or neat person. I'm not. But definitely some things like that. I don't want to take out an outfit and have to pack it separately. I want separate. I don't know why. I'm such an overpacker. My son has an overnight camp at school next week, and he'll have a suitcase with just in case items too. Yes, you never know. I concur, you're the best person to travel with because you always have everything. And you see, if you need something, I will have it. But Lee never needs anything, and so I'm not useful to him at all. But I do always have things if you possibly need a full skincare routine, extra headphones, maybe even a spare pillow. You don't know what you might need until you ask me for it, and I have it. Right, I'm going to go now because Milo is moving around. He's poorly, and I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's very warm. He's had his medicine. He's been sleeping. And I thought this was a safe time to do a live because he's just napping, but I can hear him moving around, so I'm going to go. But yeah, thanks for the feedback on the clarity of the camera and stuff. I'm really happy with it, but I'm going to watch it back myself. Not the whole thing because who wants to watch this? But I am going to watch it back myself for a little bit later just to see. But if those of you watching later on could let me know what the sound and the picture quality was like, that would be fantastic, because I'm hoping this will work for lives moving forward. I think this is going to be a total game changer because doing this on my phone was never very good. I mean, obviously I can move it around the house. That's the only benefit, but it would always cut off and stuff. It wasn't great. Whereas this is where it needs to be. The pitch quality should be perfect. And it's already on the computer. It's just like, and then I just walk away and it's done. Perfect. Okay. Yes, I will marry you, Charles. I do like to make jokes about my third marriage, so perhaps you can fill those shoes as and when. We'll get married, I think, in time, probably like on the beach or something. I don't know. Although if Lee and I renew our vows in January, maybe that'll be classed as a fourth time. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to go and pretend not to be excited about maybe going to New York for Christmas, at Christmas time. And I will see you guys tomorrow in a video where I think I'm going to be talking about the base that I'm wearing right now. I think you're going to be surprised. Very, very surprised.